Hello everyone, good morning. It's time to start the day. Grab your coffee, your favorite beverage, shine your light and light the way.
Good morning, everyone. It is April 18th, 2024, and it's time for your Good Morning and Talk. I'm Dali. This is the Wolf Girl Oracle, and I am so glad that you are here. Good morning, Katie. Good morning. It is good to see you, my friend, my sweet, sweet friend, my sister from another mister. And it's supposed to be 92 degrees there today. I think we're going to get to maybe 51. It's a little chilly today. It's rainy and chilly here. But wow, 92 already. You got to get that bathtub outside, Katie. You can do your soaking now. Good morning, Teresa. How are you, my sweet friend? It is good to see you again. I've already seen you once today. Now I'm seeing you again. I am glad that you are here. So you guys are probably wondering why I'm dressed a little weird right now. Well, as soon as we have a few people here, I want to do a healing ritual. And today in Terry at Holding Your Spaces morning meditation, which I deeply love, it was mentioned that Callie Healer mentioned that her son Landon was in a terrible car accident. And I don't know Callie Healer, and she doesn't know me. We don't know each other. But my heart just opened up when I read that. I don't have any children that were born from my body, but I do have my stepson, Devante, whom I love dearly. And I know how I would feel if I got that call, that someone that I love was in a terrible car accident, So I felt that. I felt just a outpouring of compassion, and I thought, what can I do? What can I do for this fellow human being on this planet who is going through this rough situation? So I am going to do a little healing ritual. It'll just be a couple minutes long. But what I would really like for all of you guys is to participate in whatever way feels comfortable for you. It might be just being in silence and praying to your higher power. It might be grabbing a drum and hitting the drum. It might be lighting a candle. It might be something. But I'm going to ask you guys to just pour that healing energy and light out into the world and surround Landon, Kelly Healer's son, with this healing energy. And I'd like you to pour out the healing energy to everyone today, to the entire planet. The entire planet needs healing. And there are so many of us who are in pain right now. There are people in this group who are feeling that. So I really want to do this for her. So, good morning, Janet. Oh, Janet. Janet's here. Good morning, my wolf sister. And Jenny's here. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And look, Teresa's here. Lori. Hello, Lori. Welcome. Thanks for coming today. So anyways, that's why I am dressed like a Norse shaman right now in my ritual gear, because I would like to do this little ritual. I'm going to do it maybe in about 5 minutes, if that's okay. And yeah, just let's bring all of our healing energy, our hope, our light, our love. Oh, I love what you said, Teresa. You're just like saying this as I was saying. You're bringing in the energy of hope, love, and healing for all. Yes. Yes, we all can do that. That is something that we can do right from our chairs. It is always good when we can to actively participate in whatever healing is necessary or whatever help is necessary to the best of our ability. But sometimes when there's like 1,000 miles between us and the person who needs healing, the best thing that we can do is put our intention out into the universe and say, this is what we want for this person. So we will be doing that. Spraying rose water for all. I love that. I love that. Yes. If any of you know anything about Buddhism, you might have heard of Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is a bodhisattva, and when she's depicted, she's often depicted holding an alabaster jar in her hand, and sometimes it's held up and sometimes it's held down, where she's pouring out the blessings of healing to the entire world. And she's not necessarily a goddess, but I venerate her that way because she is another one of the healers. We are going to be talking about Ir today. Ir is she's sort of the physician of the gods, the Norse gods. And when you guys come in, I keep this little purple notepad right here. And when you guys say, hey, I'm hurting, or I need prayer, or hey, think of me, or I got this going on, I write it down and I talk to whatever God is most appropriate for whatever it is that you guys are looking to do. So for instance, if you are really in a desperate need for money, I talk to Njord. If I hear about people wanting to have babies, or are having problems with fertility, I talk to Freya and Freyr. If somebody is talking about how they need to muster up the strength to do something, I talk to Tyr, the god of courage and strength. If somebody is seeking wisdom, I talk to Odin. If somebody just needs some badass intervention, I talk to Thor. But that is what I do. And Katie says, roses call in the angels. Yeah, actually, Katie taught me that. I have rose water as well for that very reason. Metatron is the angel that I work with the most, but I'm also someone who calls out to Michael quite a bit, especially lately. Yeah. So, okay, let's get started. First, let's drink some coffee. Let us think about the intention right now. Let's create an intention of healing. Let's get our feet firmly planted on the floor here, or if you're sitting cross-legged, just sit cross-legged, but get nice and relaxed. Relax your shoulders, relax your jaw muscles, relax your arms, let the tension go. And let's take in a good deep breath right to your belly through your nose. Hold it for a few seconds. And then let's release. We are taking in a blue light. We're taking in a healing blue light right now. And when we're releasing the red, the tension, the worry, the stress. We're releasing those things. So let's do it one more time. Breathe in. And breathe out. All right, let's solidly set our intention for healing. Let me just switch over to the other camera here. Let's see. Let me know if you guys are getting any kind of weird feedback. Hopefully you are not. I'm going to just wait a second here. You guys can hear me okay? Okay, you can hear. Thank you so much, Teresa. All right. We will get started. will hail Ear, the divine physician. Fortunate are those commended to her care. She is wise and mighty, and the wheel of her hands strengthens the wounded. Her works are filled with a ruthless compassion, and to all things she brings the gift of fierce contemplation. I will praise this mighty goddess, whose touch upon our being is like the fingers of a master gardener, closing around a tiny little seed and plunging it into the rich, waiting earth. I call to you, Ear, along with the ancestors, the gods, the universe, and to my own divinity, to direct healing energy and light to Landon, son of Kali Healer. Bind his bones, close his wounds, heal his heart and mind, and make him whole. Guide the physician's hands, heart, and mind, and restore him fully. And please heal Kali Healer's heart. Be with her as she goes through this very, very stressful time. Hail Ear, hail the gods, hail our ancestors, and hail all that is divine. Ear, I offer you this offering of apples, nuts, and honey. May it strengthen you and strengthen all the gods. And so it is. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for participating in that with me. I hope you were able to hear me as I was doing that little ritual. But that is an example too of what a little prayer ritual looks like for Norse pagans. Now, mine is not exactly like everyone else's. Everyone has their own way of doing things, but it's very similar to that. And you felt that? I am so glad. Yes, calling in on the gods and the spirits and our ancestors. It's just a powerful tool in our arsenal. And prayer is just, especially communal prayer like this, is just a magical and healing thing. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, you guys, for taking part in that with me. And I hope that Landon heals, and I hope that Kali Healer isn't too full of stress and worry. You know, I can't even imagine what she must be going through right now. So prayers for her as well. All right, so let's grab a high vibe card. Actually, first, I'm going to take off my ritual little cape here because it is very warm. It is very, very warm. And this room has probably the worst circulation in all the rooms of the house. So, oh boy. Woo, girl. Woo. So, yeah, I feel better now. Okay. But let's read a high vibe card. Let's do our high vibe card of the day. And the next one in line is for hard times. Having a hard time with a situation? Imagine that person, people, or event being surrounded by sparkly white loving light. Make a cocoon of love around them. This changes the energy around the circumstance, plus it changes you. That actually is very appropriate for today, isn't it? Imagine that person, people, or event being surrounded by sparkly white loving light. So that is our intention today. That is what we're going to do. Laura, you love learning new ways of healing. I do too. There is so much that we do not understand, that the ancients understood about healing. You know, there is so much that, I mean, we're only just now starting to like delve into the metaphysic aspects of healing, you know? And I can tell you 10 years ago, if somebody would have told me, hey, you're going to be doing this today, I'd been like, girl, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it is. And I love learning new ways to heal too. And I incorporate a lot of what I learn into my rituals. So I learn a lot from you guys. I've learned so much from Katie. Katie has been just a wonderful resource. And I don't know if Nils is going to show up today, but him too. You know, he's just got this incredible amount of wisdom and knowledge when it comes to the ancients and how they healed, you know. I have a few friends who are also, you know, indigenous Americans, Native Americans, who also have interesting shamanic practices that they've incorporated into their healing rituals that I'm now learning about and gleaning things from. And, you know, it's like the further back we go, I don't care who you are or what part of this planet you came from or your family came from. It's crazy about how we all have this like commonality when it comes to healing and shamanic practices. It blows my mind. Hey, Geek Hillbilly, how are you, my fellow Star Trek and Star Wars fanatic? It's good to see you. It is good to see you. Uh-oh. I'm hearing honking outside. Okay, just want to make sure everything was all right. I live in a very quiet neighborhood, so when that happens, it's like, what's going on? I look, and Jenny says, Jenny is a nurse who is going to a new nursing assignment. She's a traveling nurse, so she goes from place to place. And she says, yes, they do, and I look forward to learning some while I'm on my next assignment. Yeah, that's a great way of looking at it. And Katie says, we have all massively changed in the last 10 years. That is so true. That is so true. We all have. It's a very different world. Geek says, my eye surgeries are done. Great results. Fantastic. That's great news. Rock on. Yeah, man, you don't realize how much you need your eyes or how much you appreciate your eyes until you don't have full use of your eyes, right? And then when you get it back, it's just like, ah. So, yeah, that's great. I'm glad you shared that with us. That's fantastic news. Always good news. I like the good news. Speaking of good news, I have some good news for you guys. I have a couple stories here. I'll just paraphrase them here so that it doesn't linger on too long. But, you know, I like to tell you guys about the good stuff that's happening, especially when it comes to the environment, animals, and stuff like that. And this first story comes out of Houston, Texas. And it says, Texas is in the middle of the most important migratory pathway for birds moving up and down the Americas. Nearly 2 billion birds, or 1 out of 3 in the U.S., will pass over Texas during their spring and autumn migrations. To safeguard the over 400 species of birds that migrate through Texas, the Houston chapter of the Audubon Society and their partners in the state have been running the Lights Out Texas campaign for 2 years now, and they're seeing remarkable results. With the prestige that owning and operating a skyscraper confers, maybe it's surprising to note that dozens of building managers have been convinced since 2022 to turn off non-essential outdoor lights. In doing that, the way that this has impacted migratory birds is that 60% of all bird collision deaths happen because of the birds seeing their reflection. Birds migrate at night. Okay, if you weren't aware of that, a lot of migratory birds migrate actually at night. And the shiny skyscrapers with all the lights on them attract the birds because the birds actually use starlight and moonlight to navigate through their migratory sessions. Okay, so when they see in the distance skyscraper lights on buildings and such, it actually causes them to fly into the buildings and kill themselves. 60% of all migratory deaths of migratory birds happens because of this. But since doing this, since starting this lights out, they have reduced the bird collisions almost down to zero. So kudos to Texas and to the Houston, and another city was Houston, and I think it was Austin and Fort Worth. So there's 3 cities that are definitely doing this right now in Texas, and I feel like this is something that should be done everywhere because our migratory birds are very, very, very important to our ecosystems. So that was pretty cool. Geek says, I was blinded for over 3 months. The colors are so bright now. Oh, I bet. The lens used give me a fixed focus. So if I wear a pair of Dollar Tree readers with the glasses I have 20/20 vision. Oh, that's awesome. And Jenny says, Texas is doing something right for a change. Okay, oops, did I say that out loud? But yes, Jenny, you are correct. But I feel like that should be a thing everywhere, anywhere that is in a path of migratory birds fly, that there should be this lights out thing. It doesn't have to be all year long, right? It's just during spring migration and fall migration. So we need to talk to our senators and tell them that this is something that we want to see nationwide. And you know what? It's funny that you should mention about your eyes today, because I have a story here today, a good news story, that is bioengineered corneas stand to cure blindness for millions of people around the world. A company called, let me find it here so I'm not reading this whole thing to you guys. Well, anyways, an Australian ophthalmologist and biotech engineer has created a lens that is made from, what was it? Oh my gosh, maybe I should just read this. Okay, here we go. That's made from collagen, the proteins that make hair, skin, nails, and connective tissue. And so they were able to create this lens, but the problem was the lens was opaque. It wasn't clear. So they had to do some fiddling in order to get it clear, but they do have a clear lens now, and it can be printed using a special 3D printer. So basically, if you have one of these collagen-based 3D printers and you've got all of the data that you need to send to your printer to print these lenses out, you basically have an unlimited supply of corneas that'll be available to people to help them cure their blindness. And what's interesting about this is that right now there is only 1 cornea donor per 70 people who are blind, who actually donate their corneas. So there's a lot of people who go without getting this fixed, and it actually is a relatively simple fix according to this article. They just don't have enough corneas to do it. So this is where science and biology are going to be meeting head to head, and hopefully we're going to have a lot less blind people in the near future because of this new technology, which I think is really just fascinating. So Teresa Ford says, if the lights aren't needed, they should be shut off anyways. I agree. I mean, think of the money that's being saved in these cities when they're doing this during this time, right? Think of the energy that's being saved. You know, I think that is so cool. Now, this is, I want to say something. If there is people in Texas who are doing terrible things, which there are, Shame on them. But that doesn't mean the entire state of Texas is a bad place, right? And that just goes to show that there are good people out there. The Audubon Society is active out there, and we need more people in Texas to become more active about the things that they're seeing that they don't like. But it's starting, and it takes baby steps. And that state, any tiny step forward is a good step forward, in my humble opinion. So let's see, what do you say, Katie? Where I have light switches in my house, I put them all on motion sensors so that when I walk in the room, they come on. And when I leave the room, a couple seconds later, they go off. That is actually a very conscientious thing to do, Katie. That's very good. We have motion sensor lights outside, but I don't have any on the inside. I should think about getting some for like the kitchen. Let's see here. I go back to the eye doctor on the 26th for a post-op check where I am diabetic. There was a question of whether the lens would take. Well, I hope it stays took. I hope it stays took. Is that how we say it? And Katie says, I am a full organ donor. So am I. That's awesome. All right. And then the last story, which I think is neat. And Katie, I thought of you. Not that this might be your car per se, but somebody in your state, people who live in these really bright, beautiful states where you hardly get any rain. I think that this is a car that you guys might really be interested in, or something like this. So this car is called the Aptera. I don't know if you can see it here. I know it's a crazy looking car, right? It's a crazy looking car, but the hood, the roof, and the trunk are all solar panels. Okay. And at this point, this car company is building in estimating that these cars will be built for $32,000, which is a lot of money, I know. But for a fully electric, fully solar powered car, I don't think that that's all that unreasonable. It can go 400 miles on a charge, which is pretty comparable to what's out there right now. Plus, it can re-energize the batteries while it's in the sun, and it can be connected to house power as well. So if you've got lots of terrible days in a row where it's not sunny, you can charge your car, but you don't have to on the sunny days. And if you live in a place like where Katie lives, where it's sunny quite a bit, or California, Southern California, where it's sunny, or anywhere in the desert, I feel like this car might actually be something that would be doable. This is what blew me away. This little car has 34 cubic feet? Yeah, 34 cubic feet of storage in it. And on their website, on the Aptera website, they actually show the back end of the car lifted up, because the whole back end lifts up. And they have a special tent that you can attach to it. And you can actually tent out of the back of this car. It does look like a Jetsons car. That's exactly what I was thinking, Katie. It does look like a Jetsons car. Meet George Jetson. But I thought that, I like that. I like that we are going into this forward thinking, because this is the stuff that we have to start thinking about. Fossil fuels are not going to be around forever. And we need a car company who's going to actually make something that the average American can practically own. Teslas are great and everything, or are they? I don't know. But they're very expensive. And a lot of these like electric cars are very, very expensive. But this not only is taking out the need for gasoline and fossil fuels, which makes it a very environmentally friendly vehicle, it has a way of self-sustaining itself, so you're not connecting to your home power and still using fossil fuels to power it. You see what I'm saying? So I think that that's pretty cool. I think that that's pretty cool. Okay, so Geek says, an electric vehicle not practical in southeastern Kentucky. I drive a junkyard built modified to death Ford Ranger, runs on hydrogen and gasoline. Well, that's cool. Hydrogen is a great clean fuel. And I know what you mean. I mean, here in Wisconsin, we don't get enough sunny days. I'm not sure that that would be practical for me. But it still makes me excited that we're thinking along those lines, that we're actually putting the time and the effort and the thought into creating, vehicles that don't rely on gasoline or diesel, And like Katie's saying, oh, here, wait a second. Let me go back. I'm getting so excited. I'm going ahead of myself. I saw an ad for solar powered generators yesterday. Yes, I have one and I love it. I've used it once this year so far. Kat says, good morning, good people. Good morning, Kat. Kat, you missed, I did a Norse ritual earlier. You'll have to go back and watch the beginning of the video when you get a chance. Lori says, I live in a Gulf coastal region in Texas. Those little cuties would float away here. Perfect idea for other areas. Oh, maybe they could make a car boat. Maybe it could be a car and a boat. That would be cool. Katie says, in the cities of the future, most people will not own cars. I agree. In fact, I'm seeing more and more on these, like where is it, Katie? Is it in Saudi Arabia where they're making that line city, that thin, long line city where everything, like public transportation, is on one level and living is on other levels, and then the ground levels are all for businesses and manufacturing. Yeah. So I agree. The main problem with an electric vehicle is the lithium batteries. Those are a very real fire hazard, plus replacement cost for battery packs runs more than the car costs. Yes. They do mention in that article that they are looking at alternative energy. They're looking at alternative ways of creating batteries. I forget what they said. Let me just look here real quick. Talk amongst yourselves. I'll find this. Oh. It might have been in the main article. I just pulled points off of the main article, but they were talking about how they were looking at different and alternative versions of power storage to be able to keep the cost of the car down. Katie says, our average days of sunshine is 300 per year. Holy crap. Holy cow. Jenny's talking about the monorail. Yeah. Like, I think that's what they were talking about in that city that I was just talking about. They were going to have like a monorail. Driverless cars. Yeah. Katie, try using a Star Trek type molecular transporter. IBM has been experimenting of this since the 1970s. Yes, they have. There is a sodium ion battery that has just entered production. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's what it was. I'll have to go and look. I'm sorry about that. I should have put that in there. I was so excited about the car. Something other than Tesla, Geek Lily, I can address that. I drive a Tesla. The cost of replacing isn't that high, about $12,000, and they're less flammable than fossil fuel. Well, that's true. That is true. My vapes, I work with so many lithium batteries now. I mean, they're in everything. They're in my vapes, they're in our phones, they're in so many different things now. I think that they're getting better and better at ensuring that those things don't break, don't blow up. Lithium mining strips the land and uses a lot of water. Yes, it does. You are correct about that. Teresa's asking Katie, are you in the Oregon high desert? No, she's actually in Arizona. She's in Arizona. We are researching an iron battery right now. Well, yeah, I'm glad that they're doing these things. I mean, in every leap in technology, there's always some growing pains, right? The first combustible engines that were in cars were so highly flammable and so prone to explosion that the iron horse almost got put away in the pasture. But they kept working on it, and they kept making it better and better. Look at what the first airplane looked like with the Wright brothers. They're wooden, bicycle powered airplane, and now look at what they are. Hi, Terry. How are you? Terry, you missed it. I did a little Norse ritual for Callie Healer's son Landon. You'll have to go back and check it out because you said you were interested in some of the Norse gods and practices. So I did a little something this morning for them. I think you might like it, or maybe you won't. I don't know, but check it out. I'm in Arizona, but grew up in the high desert of Oregon near Crater Lake. Yes, it's very beautiful there. I've seen 100 million pictures. I'd like to go there someday. That's on a bucket list. My old truck cost $500 plus some sweat. I generate the hydrogen under the hood. You could build a generator from stuff in the average kitchen. Yeah. I used to work for a company that did environmental testing of vehicles, and I had a few hydrogen powered vehicles. And this was back in the 90s, like the mid to late 90s. People were coming through with hydrogen powered vehicles. And I thought that was so cool. So yeah, so I are things perfect? No, things are not perfect. But I'm glad that we are finally like looking at these things, because fossil fuels are not going to last forever, and they damage when we take this stuff out of the ground, when we're taking all these minerals and fuels out of the ground, we are damaging the earth. So we have to start thinking, this is the only planet that we got, you guys. This is the only planet that we got. There is no other planet nearby that we can get to. Now, someday in the future, we might, but we are nowhere near that. We are nowhere near that. We're not going to be terraforming Mars. There is no way to restart the iron core in Mars. There's no way to jumpstart that, to make it molten again, to get it spinning, to create a magnetosphere necessary to hold in any kind of an atmosphere. So we're not going to be doing that. So we got to take care of this planet. It's very important. Jenny says, I saw Mount Hood when I was in Portland, Oregon last year. Oh, that's so cool. Kat says, yeah, EVs are disruptive technology. They're a disruptive technology. They're not destructive. 100 years ago, road trips were a true adventure. That is for sure. You have got that right. Terry says Rolls-Royce is doing hydrogen engines for ships. Yeah, that's cool. I think that the whole Hindenburg thing, because it was so dramatically horrible, and it was one of the first tragedies like that was caught on film that could get out to the masses. That this idea about hydrogen hydrogen became very demonized. Right. But there are ways to render it very stable and very efficient. So yeah, we should be doing more with that for sure. We should be saving petroleum for making necessary like medical needs. Just saying, yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, there are certain things that petroleum is very important for. And if, not that I think the fossil fuels are going to run out anytime soon, probably not in our lifetime, maybe not even in our kids' lifetime, but we have to be far more forward thinking than what we currently are. Okay. We have a responsibility to the people that come after us to ensure that they're going to be okay. If we live our lives here like there's no tomorrow, there will be no tomorrow. Right? So that's what I'm saying. What does Teresa say? Hang on. What is happening, girl? Okay. I was born in Salem, Oregon. I like the wet 1/4 of Oregon, the part where it's foggy and damp. I'm weird like that. There's nothing weird with that. And lithium mining is less disruptive than oil drilling. It's one of the 3 minerals that's harvested at the same time. Potassium is one of the others, right? Yeah, I don't know anything about any of that stuff, to be honest with you. That's something I'm going to have to look into myself. Geek says you can create the magnetic shield using solar power. Even on Mars, the Earth's magnetic shield is rated at 0.005 Tesla. Your average kitchen magnet is a lot stronger than that. Oh, that's interesting. So if the magnetosphere collapses, Geek, as long as we're surrounded by magnets, we'll be protected from any kind of solar, the bombardment of solar or particles, solar particles. My best friend lives in Longview, Washington. I love the river. Oh, nice. 7 generations. Holy cow. Wow. 7 generations. Jeepers Christmas. My family's only been here for 3. I'm the 3rd. Well, part of my family anyway. Katie lived at Crater Lake twice. Wow. Yeah, Crater Lake, I've seen lots of pictures of Crater Lake. It looks like a very, very spiritually active and gorgeous, just gorgeous place. I would love to see it someday. That's definitely on my bucket list. I agree. That's kind of my point, Katie. Gaia will treat us like a virus if we continue this path. But in the progression of things, in trying to create better technologies that are better for the planet, we're definitely going to go through some growing pains. There's going to be trial and error going on here. Sometimes we might think something is a really great thing for the environment, but we find out that there's a long-term effect on the environment as a result of whatever it is that we're doing. It just takes time for us to study it and figure it out. But if we go into these things with the intention that we want to make sure that the earth is going to be sound and stable for the next generations, corporate power and corporate money should not be superseding what the planet should not be more important than our planet. Both are important. Obviously, we live in a capitalist society. People need jobs. People need to make money. I get that. Okay. We're not in a Star Trek world where everybody is paid by credit. We're still paid by the dollar bill, right? So I understand that there has to be a gentle balance between business and the earth. But we need to keep pushing forward towards technologies that will allow the earth to thrive, And maybe we need to start talking about, this population. Not that I want anybody to get killed. Please don't think that I'm going in that direction. I'm not. I don't want anybody dead. But maybe we need to start talking about the morality or the ethics of how many people we have on this planet. We need to start talking about that. And it's a topic that we tend to shy away from because it's a little scary. It can be a little scary when we're talking about what possibly we could do to ensure that the population doesn't continue to grow out of control. But maybe we need to talk about that, I generate magnetic fields all the time and for my utility use and Faraday shields. I know what those are. I actually have a couple. I got several Faraday bags that I have different electronics in to just keep them protected from EMPs. I know. That's from a different time in my life, but I still got them. Oh, and hello, Fatima. Did I say hi to you? I hope I did. Hello, Fatima. I'm so glad you're here, my dear friend. Teresa says, right now, money is a tool. No tool is more important than the planet. Money is meaningless without the planet. Yeah, money means nothing if there's no people to spend it. For sure. I agree, Katie. We have to change the narrative, or Mom Nature is going to do what's best for her. Yeah, and she's already starting to, actually. And Geek says that my home is a Faraday shield, a big one. I bet. I bet. Well, with all the solar flares too, that Faraday shields will protect from like strong magnetic storms too, correct? Like when the sun is sending off like solar flares and such, and all those particles are coming at the planet. What a strange and interesting conversation we're having today, you guys. This is good, though. I mean, this is what we need to do. This is the kind of see, and look at, we all have a little bit of a difference in opinions on things, right? But nobody is like, we're able to do this like grown-ups, and I appreciate that. And that's what I love about this little community is we can talk to one another about these things. And this is the kinds of conversations that need to happen so that action can happen. We have to like will this into being, Am I wrong? Wow, that's really cool. They have too many computers to lose them. Yes, they protect against that too. And the truck is protected. Wow, that's awesome. I have a big enough Faraday bag to put my laptop in. I don't have anything big enough protecting my main computer, my gaming PC. So very cool. Well, we are already at 10:45. That went quick. Holy cow. So does anybody want a card? I could do maybe 2 or 3 cards today. We have enough time for that. So if anybody would like one, just let me know. Otherwise, I can do one for the whole group. And we can do this together. It's so nice to see you guys sending blessings to one another. That really warms my heart. I love when you do that. When you put that intention out into the universe, of a blessing intention, like that. That is just, to me, that just makes my heart warm. And I appreciate that you guys do that for one another. I really, really do. Oh, you know what? Before I do this, you guys, I wanted to talk to you guys. For those of you who are doing the mindfulness exercises, the 31 days of mindfulness with Katie, look at potential spam is calling me. Goodbye. She put up a video today, and it really got me thinking. It got me thinking about something that happened in my past. I'm going to tell you the story real quick, okay? So the mindfulness exercise today is the mindful movie exercise. Is that right, Katie? I think I'm saying that right. The mindful movie exercise. And you should go watch the video. It's really good. It's a fun exercise. But it got me thinking about the way a movie made me feel a long time ago and how that feeling affected me for years. The movie was called Red Dawn. Do you guys remember that movie, Red Dawn? I think it might have come out like in 82, 83, 84, somewhere in there. Patrick Swayze was in it. C. Thomas Howell, Jennifer Grey. And it was basically about, I think it was like Cubans and Russians attacked the United States. And these kids who were at this high school basically, took up arms. They were gathering up people, the Cubans and the the Cubans and the Russians were like gathering up people and putting them in concentration camps. And so these kids were like gathering up guns, and they called themselves the Wolverines, and they were fighting against the communists, blah, 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 that was happening. And at the time, that concept of being invaded had not really hit me. I'm a little too young for the Cuban Missile Crisis, okay? For that to have had any kind of an effect on me. I know it had a great effect on my mother, but not me. But seeing that movie had a great effect on me, to the point where I was like, if this happens, how am I going to protect myself? How am I going to protect my family? And it was something that was always eating at me in the back of my mind for years, until I got into my 20s, and I found myself almost in a state of panic about the state of the world. Okay. And then 9/11 happened. And all that feeling that I had felt during that movie, all that fear, all that worry, all that, oh my God, I can't believe I never thought of this before. All that came up and bubbled up and like really exasperated. And I went into I need to learn how to live off grid mode. I need to learn about bushcraft. I need to know how to learn about survival, and I need to learn how to take care of myself just in case something happens and we get invaded. And I was totally immersed in a decades-long fear because of that movie. So when Katie was talking about this morning, I started thinking about this other show that I've been watching, and maybe Geek, you're watching it too. It's called Fallout, and the Fallout series of games has been my favorite series of games since the inception, since Fallout 1. I've played all of them. I have not played Fallout 4, but I've played everything up to now. And I really love that game, but there isn't. And I watched the series from beginning to end. I loved it. And it was fun. And while I was watching it, I did have feelings. I had feelings of, oh no, and feelings of laughter, and feelings of, that's just like the game. And feelings of like, well, I don't know, that's nothing like the game, but that's okay. Who cares? And I had all these feelings. But once I was done watching the series, I was able to step back and kind of walk away from it. And it wasn't like causing me to go into a panic or a fear the way that Red Dawn did, and I realized, all right, something has progressed in me, this being like crippled in fear kind of thing. So yeah. Oh, you're watching Fallout as well. Did you play the games, Teresa? Did you play the games at all, at any of the games or all the games? It's really good. And Katie says, first grade, we did the hide under your desk stuff. Yeah, that must have been scary. That must have been like, for a little child, that must have been horrible. Oh, your husband played them? I decided I'm going to go through Fallout 3 again. I just started playing that yesterday, just because I loved the game so much. I grew up here in Eastern Kentucky. Survivor skills was taught to me at an early age. I have a gun safe with lots of ammo if needed. I had sniper training in my youth. Bring them on. Rock on. Whoop. My son loves Fallout. We play the tabletop game when I'm home, Dali. Oh, fun. Duck and cover. Yes, that's exactly it. Duck and cover. Oh, yeah, Katie. The deer hunter? Oh my God, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. And Geek, I grew up in a family of campers. So all my life I've been a camper and I learned a lot of those skills growing up as well, and being, involved with different youth groups and stuff like that. I learned a lot. I was in martial arts as a kid. So there was all this stuff already there, but like it just permeated into this panic like fear. That's the best way that I can describe it. That made me angry. I was super angry like all the time because I was in a constant state of fear. And it started with that freaking movie. So movies can have like a tremendous effect on us. We do need to pay attention to how those movies are making us feel, you know, so that it doesn't transmit into our lives and cause us to have like decades of anxiety that don't need to be there. It's good to be prepared, but we do not have to be full of fear, or you know what I'm saying? There's a fine line between the two. I am not a black belt in anything. I went through different programs. In the summertime at our school, they had self-defense for women, self-defense for girls. And one year it was taekwondo, one year it was karate, one year it was judo, you know, so we got to learn like simple basics over each summer, but I used those things all the time. It kept me from getting my butt kicked, I'll tell you that. Dad's idea of camping was a suite at the Four Seasons. We're roughing it this weekend, kids. We're going to a Days Inn. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. But do you go camping now, Kat? You camp now, right? Deliverance was that one movie for me. Oh, yes. Deliverance is the one that I'm thinking of, actually. It wasn't Deer Hunter. It was Deliverance is that one movie for me. I'm a Cajun girl. We're taught to live off the land at an early age. If need be, I can hunt and fish. That's good. Yes, me too. Katie is a black belt in avoiding situations by using my sharp mouth. Yes. Oh, until you meet that one stupid person who doesn't care what's coming out of your mouth. They're going to hit you anyway. That always seemed to be the person that I would run into. Kat said, yes, I'm going to pack the car today. That's right. You're leaving for Morrison tomorrow morning. Woo! I hope you have amazing weather. I will talk to the gods for you. I will. All right. Let me read our card of the day. Again, this is from the Healing Waters Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I'm sure you guys are familiar with this one. A lot of people use it. It's a beautiful deck. And it really feels watery, like of all the decks that I have. Other than the Great Lakes deck that I have, this one is second to that in the feel of water for me. Yes, safe travels. I agree. All right, ancestors, angels, spirits of the land in my home. What is the message for this beautiful little collective of friends this morning? Please and thank you. And I love you. Okay. This is the one. Thank you. Gratitude, appreciating what's sustaining you. Look at that. Look at that. There is a lot going on in this card. Her aura is just gorgeous. I mean, the divine is flowing to her and through her and from her as she says, thank you. And maybe we all need to do that today. Maybe that's the message for today, right? We talked about a lot of things today. We talked about a lot of things and how we felt about a lot of things today. And maybe right now the way that we should end this time together is just in giving thanks. Giving thanks for all the things that we have that sustain us. You know, we might not have everything that we want. You know, I would like a pet llama, like a lot. And I don't have a pet llama, but what I do have are two beautiful cats and a turtle who's always crabby. And I'm still grateful for her. But yeah, that's maybe what we should do today is just focus on what we have, you know, and be grateful. Be grateful that we have it. Morrison, Colorado, seeing their High Lung at the Red Rocks. Oh, that's the place that I would love to see them the most, is at the Red Rocks. I can't imagine anywhere better than that. I've never seen them live, Kat, and I've had opportunities, and it seems like every time an opportunity arises where I might be able to go, something happens. Like, you know, I tear my rotator cuff, or my mom almost dies, and I'm not able to go. And that's okay, because I know my time will come when I can go. I'll just have to wait and be patient. It's hard, but I have to wait and be patient. Why a llama? Hand llama. This is my hand llama. Because they're hysterical, and because they put off a very, very beautiful fur that can be made into so many different things. They're strong, and packs of llamas have been known to kill Mexican wolves. Did you know that? They are badass. That's why I want a llama. Cat wants a cheetah. Hillbilly has 2 female chinchillas. Oh, I know, Kat, they're not coming back for the foreseeable future. I know. I'm sad about that. Katie says they are soft. Yes, chinchillas are soft. Yeah. I had an ex-girlfriend who had a chinchilla named Fluffy. Fluffy the chinchilla. So do donkeys. Donkeys are super cute too. Katie wants a jaguar. And Teresa would be happy with a feral cat sanctuary. I don't want just a cat. I want the whole sanctuary. I want 500. But actually, that would be amazing if you could do that, Teresa. I would support that. Absolutely. Have you ever seen llama teeth? Yes. Yes. They're like 3 sets of boar tusks. Yes. I have. All right, you guys. Oh, Jenny says, I'd love to pet a wolf or run with them. I have pet wolves. I've played with wolf cubs, you know, and done that. I would never want a wolf as a pet though. Never, never, never. Those are animals that need to be wild for sure. And they should not be pets. But that's just my opinion. You know, there's a lot of wolf dogs out there. Janet, I don't know if she's still in here. Her sister owns a sanctuary that actually takes care of wolf dogs. I don't know if they have any full wolves there, but they've got a lot of woolies. And what often happens is those animals are not domesticated, and they often become way too much for people to handle. And then they just sort of let them go, or they neglect them. And then those poor animals suffer for something that human beings did, you know, which is just not cool. And I know that in the wild, sometimes dogs and wolves get together, and if they love each other very much, puppies happen. But, you know, it's just not, wolves were just never meant to be bred. They were never meant to be captive. I do understand that in some places they are captive for research and understanding, which I'm all for, but they were never meant to be pets, you know? So, but that's just my humble opinion. Good morning, Nils. How are you? Nils, I did a little ritual earlier to ear, a healing ritual. So I did practiced some of my Norse paganism today, which was really nice. But all right, guys, it's 11:03. I do need to go. So I just want to say I love you guys. Y'all need Freya. Y'all need Freya. Y'all need Freya. And I hope that you all have a great day. And, if you need anything, if you ever have something happen and you need somebody to reach out to the gods and goddesses and pray for you, please feel free to reach out to me and let me know, and I'd be happy to pray for you. Okay. I'm glad. Oh, Nils is having a good day at work. I am so happy to see that. And everyone have an awesome day, he says. And yes, please, everyone have an awesome day. And if I missed anything, I apologize. But you guys rock, and I love you. And I will see you all again. I'll have some videos up this weekend. Katie will be back on Monday. I'll be back on Tuesday. So just keep things open for next week, and we'll see you then. All right. Have a blessed day, everyone. Mwah. Take care. All right. Bye-bye.